They discovered it, they read it, and they applied it. It's the golden thread that connects the titans of the self-development industry, the source that spawned millions of millionaires, the original blueprint to success.
Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Think and Grow Rich.
Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. It's a classic. A classic.
And I love Think and Grow Rich. I love it. It's right here. I mean, it's one of my favorite books of all time.
Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
This material is what changed my life. This is the material I study every day. From being an immigrant woman, coming from poverty, and really coming to America and literally achieving the American dream. I can't even tell you how grateful I am for this man, for what he did for me and my family.
Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve.
People don't realize is that when we let our ego get in our way, ego is the loss, the fear of loss. So need to be right, the need to be offended, the need to be hurt, fearful. When that trajectory changes, what happens is you continually go the wrong way. So my job as a coach is to say, let's get into the enjoyment of the direct pursuit of my potential. Right? And so when the light went on, it was not about the potential of making money and being an entrepreneur, which is one of my specialties. And I said to him, look, this is an opportunity now to show how great you really are. We can't let the outside voices, right, determine our success. The happiness that we have comes within. Why are you going to give that control to somebody else?
Thoughts become things. And I always wonder, why did no one teach us this? Why did we not learn this in school? Why did we not learn this from our families? If you make your study a priority, your life will change.
And I came up with 4 really valuable things that I took stock in. And the first one was gratitude. Simple gratitude. Although I grew up with nothing, I was always grateful. Throughout the whole process of consistently, persistently pursuing my potential, I was grateful. It made my past better, my present brighter, and my future even brighter than that. In fact, I tell people all the time, if you want to change your life, change your employee's life, your family life, it's very simple. 2 words, say thank you.
The Napoleon Hill training. Right here. All right, cool. So welcome everybody to the Napoleon Hill Institute training. Today's training is going to be you can't fix what you won't admit. And so I pick a topic just so everybody here that knows. And I used to do research, which took the longest time about these topics. Today, I just use ChatGPT, tell them to create an outline for you can't fix what you won't admit, as if I'm Dave Meltzer, speaker, author, entrepreneur, investor. It creates an outline. And I train from that outline. I haven't looked at the outline, read the outline, nor do I care because I know what I'm talking about. I just need to prompt what it is. I know the framework of what I'm going to teach. And so everybody here, you can overlap what you're doing. I use it as part of my mastermind. I use it as part of sometimes speeches that someone's paying me for. I'll do a training and it also will be my free Friday training. And it'll just be transmitted or streamed onto StreamYard, et cetera. So I see a lot of people in our space wanting to build a brand, build a community, help other people, but they're not, ironically, in this training, they're not helping themselves and they won't admit that they're limiting themselves and limiting what they're doing because they haven't created the systems or they're not a subject matter topic expertise or don't have that like they think they do. And so I'm very honest with myself. You know, and I had, you know, my favorite quote, you're either humble or about to be. I did my own audiobook, negotiated with Spotify and Audible for my own. I had to read it. But I also know because I teach so much that that's a really difficult thing for me to read words exactly as they appear. Because that's what an audiobook does. You can't just do what I'm about to do, which is bullshit my way through topics and subjects and pretend as if this is a rehearsed training. That you can't do that when you're doing an audiobook. You can't even sound wrong on sentences. So you have to, and so I thought I could do it as quickly as I do training. And it was, you know, about an hour a chapter for me to get through it in 13 chapters. That's a lot of time for me because in my mind, I'm like, you know how much I could be doing for people in 13 hours? But then I realized millions of people will be listening to the audiobook. So in the end, it'll be amplified. Let's get right to the training. Once again, haven't looked at it, haven't seen it, just ran it through ChatGPT. Outline as if I'm David Meltzer, speaker, author, entrepreneur, sent it to my team. They put it into exercises, guides, makes it look fancy with all the logos. They use ChatGPT, I think, to do that as well. So we've narrowed this down to a very refined process where I do free every single day. These are more formal for Napoleon Hill Institute. And so we'll get right to it. You can't fix what you won't admit. With all respect, expertise, but when we let someone else's status override our own judgment, we quietly hand over our outcomes to others. We attach ourselves to those outcomes and create resistance that we can only shorten with the wisdom and faith that we have. There's mentors and playbooks and proven paths that can accelerate us, aggregate and compound those outcomes, yet they can't replace our own accountability that's driven through gratitude and forgiveness. In this lesson, which I'm happy to send to everyone, just email me, david@dmeltzer.com. Notice I use my email address to send everybody the books, the guides, the exercises for free, david@dmeltzer.com, to be able to invite and inform you of all the other things that we're doing. But in this lesson, we commit to honoring that wisdom and faith while staying accountable for the decisions, results, and adjustments, not with discipline, but with devotion. Discipline is a subset of devotion. Devotion means that you've taken your discipline and aligned it with your divine direction, and also aligned the meaning of the past as well with your divine direction. So I become devotional even though I'm one of the most extremely disciplined people, because why? I'm OCD. So I have a huge advantage that I was born with a superpower called obsessive compulsive disorder, which makes me extremely disciplined and consistent in what I do. But it wasn't until the discipline became devotional that I received all that I've been given and received the outcomes that I've had. We use expert input as guidance, not gospel. We validate with small tests, real data, and honest feedback loops. We're looking for clues, patterns, and the choices that we make to be honest with ourselves to what? Admit to ourselves what's holding us back, what's limiting ourselves, why we can't ask for more, why we're underpricing ourselves, why we're doing things to please other people when they may not be the right association relativity or in the feeding loop that we want. When we trust but verify, we grow faster because we learn what works for us, where we're at, in our stage, with our limitations, constraints, with our objectives, our devotion and divine direction, and align the meaning of the path with that. Because why? It's the meaning of the past that will limit you, and you will never, ever overachieve the limitations that you set upon yourself, your own identity, your own image, your own self-image. You'll never overachieve that. Our credibility doesn't come from who we quote. It comes from what we execute on, measure, and refine from those quotes. So when I quote someone that you're either humble or you're about to be, if I'm not executing on that, reminding, remembering, and recreating that in my own life, recollecting it, then it has no refinement, no measurement, and it has no outcome in alignment with my divine direction. The first lesson about the you can't fix what you won't admit, the first lesson that I'd like to teach, and if you like each of these, it's david@dmeltzer.com, is awareness, which is frequency-based, vibrationally based. We can only be aware of that which vibrates equal to or less than us. The earth vibrates the slowest, plants, animals, humans, sound, and then light, and then thought. The thought that vibrates the fastest, that elevates our awareness, is the truth. So when we're vibrating as close to our potential with the truth, we're able to have awareness over ego, over the interference, over the edging God, goldness, greatness, gold, whatever, out of our life. Awareness over ego is the first way that we admit to ourselves that we are interfering with the omniscient, all-powerful, and all-knowing, with your potential. Our ego, edging gold or goodness or greatness out of our life, protects what? Our feelings. and it limits us. It blocks our growth. It changes the meaning of our past. So when we only seek proof or evidence that we're right, we're going to stay stuck. So many people take the present evidence that is in existence today and determines their outcomes from that. When the evidence today is nothing but a clue to where you're going to be or better, either promoting you, protecting you, loving, or perfecting you, not punishing you. Most of the time, present evidence is non-existent to where you want to be or contrary to where you want to be. And that creates a feeling of being stuck when we're pursuing where we want to be. That's what creates that feeling of stuck, because we're not utilizing our awareness over the ego, which is edging the goodness and the goodness and the greatness and God out of our life, EGO. That's the interference between us and what already exists that we're interfering with. Get out of God's way, utilize awareness over ego to do so. We read praise in our customers' comments and ignore churn because it's uncomfortable. How many times do you ignore the negative side of it? And we focus in on, oh, this person said this about me. Both are equal in their vibration or frequency. The fact that it resonates with you, somebody saying something positive or negative to you, the fact that it resonates with you, that I say something that you're like, oh my God, I love that. You're either humble or you're about to be, or be more interested than interesting, or be kind to your future self. Oh, that resonates with me. It's of equal value when you realize it's your awareness over ego. If I said something that would disturb you, in an equal resonant. That's why I tell people all the time, capture, when you become aware of what's resonating with you through your intelligence, intuition, or inspiration, capture it. Even if you disagree with it strongly, it holds the same impact, protection, promotion, love, and perfection in your life. That's something that you agree fully with. That's how we're messaged. That's your calling from God. That's how he calls you, through intuition. And what we try to do is we place time restraints on intuition, and intuition has no time. In other words, we try to say, oh, well, the evidence today is not aligned with where I want to be or better, therefore my intuition is wrong. Intuition isn't wrong. It's calling your awareness over your ego. God's calling your awareness over your ego. The awareness to what? Dis-ease. The dis-ease between him or her and God, you. That's a different way to look at things. That's why I am, what am I doing to interfere with it, is so meaningful in the context of awareness over ego. We all know now that our ego is not our amigo. That resonates with you, capture it. But awareness always comes before the evidence. The awareness always comes before the evidence. It means it comes before the acceleration, it comes before the aggregation, and it certainly comes before the compounding outcomes that we desire in a devotional direction, an enjoyment of the consistent, persistent pursuit of our potential, which is a devotional direction. We want to list out where our results, our outcomes, don't match our narrative, don't match the meaning of the past. That's what you want to align with your outcomes. Therefore, we can adjust the behaviors, knowing that we're consistent in behaviors. Eventually, our behaviors will indicate where we want to be or better, or what interferes with it. That's how I categorize our behavior. Is this behavior aligned with where I want to be or better, or is this behavior interfering with it? It's that simple. And I just list out those areas where the match isn't to the narrative or to the meaning of the past. Use and rerun circumstances as the evidence isn't available to you, or it's contrary to where you want to be. Rerun it again without emotion. So when we're devotional in a divine direction, utilizing our behaviors to get to where we want to be or better, rerun the scenario. If you're having difficulty aligning your meaning of the past, the failures, the setbacks, the mistakes, the defining moment, that which aggravated or frustrated you, rerun it again without emotion and see what changes. It's a great exercise to start figuring out which behaviors are devotional or aligned with your divine direction and which ones are interfering with it. Reflect, remind, remember, recollect. What truth did I resist? What pattern did I repeat? Clues, patterns, and choices. Number one lesson available to everyone, david@dmeltzer.com. Awareness over ego. Intuition is God's calling. with no time, no linear time attached to it. And it will always allow you to shorten the distance of resistance of edging God out of your life. Gold, goodness, greatness, whatever G, growth. There's a lot of G's that it edges out of your life. The second lesson for our own admission, seek the truth. Remember, everything vibrates, plants, animals, humans, sound, light, thought. The thought that vibrates the fastest is the truth. Seek the truth, not victory. Victory is arbitrary and capricious. Victory is a subjective outcome. So many times, the biggest failures in my life have become the greatest victories in my life. They've saved my life. They saved my marriage. They've saved me. And at the time, there was no victory at all. When we defend our identity, we lose the idea itself. My entire identity was based off of my bank account. I laugh at myself. My wife reminds me, she said, we were worth over $100 million and your bank account would go down $100 and I'd ask you what's the matter. And you're like, my bank account's down. $100. Alternatively, I'd be super excited. She's like, oh, what's going on? Bank account's up. How much? $57. Stupid. But I lost the idea because I was so ingrained in the identity that my self-identity was my net worth. And my bank account was what I utilized to identify, which was stupid, my net worth, which then led right to my identity of me feeling good or bad about myself. We progress by utilizing discovery, curiosity, creativity, not domination. We're not in control, right? Remember, creativity, curiosity, all of these things are intentional behaviors. They're not sitting at home high on your mom's couch, sick, broke, dreaming about what you want. They're actually intentional behaviors to discover things, mostly to elevate our awareness to what we're doing to interfere with our better self, higher self, capable self, our own potential. We prefer that somehow we're dominating it, that we're in control. I remember when I came home the night my wife told me she was leaving me because she was worried I was going to die, told me to take stock in who I was and what I want to become. I remember my initial reaction was one of dominance. I looked at her after I told her to fuck off, told her don't let the door to hit you on the way out. I remember, wasted out of my mind, putting my hands to my side and turning in a slow circle going, who do you think did all of this? How dare you talk to me this way? Get the fuck out. Who do you think you're talking to? Dominance. No creativity, no humility, no God in my life at all. Just dominance. I was not seeking the truth, and I had thought I was victorious because my goal in life was to make as much money as I can, and I had more than I ever dreamed of. Therefore, I lived in victory. We dismiss a teammate, a family member, a relative, an associate as inexperienced or not valuable instead of evaluating the merit of them. The light, the love, and the lesson in them. The greatest piece of marriage advice that I give people, because I've never experienced a marriage like the one I have today. I joke around, I've had 3 marriages to the same woman, not legally. We've never been separated or divorced, although at times she wanted to. I've been married to her 3 times. This 3rd marriage is exceptional. I've just been married 3 times to the same person. I believe most people are married a minimum of 3 times, sometimes to different people, sometimes the same person. But in this 3rd marriage, the best piece of advice that I've learned and why this marriage is so amazing is because I tell her, I just look for the light, the love, and the lesson in her. I look for what I want every day, not what I don't want. I would leave for 22 days, come home, there'd be shoes. I was sick to my stomach because I missed my wife and kids so much when I was in Korea, in my 1st marriage. Sick to my stomach, 22 straight days in Korea, Skyping them, staying up all hours of the night, falling asleep in conference rooms because I wanted to have 5 minutes with my family. And the minute I got home, I'd see shoes on the staircase and go, what the fuck is this? You can imagine where the conversations went. I am sure my intention was not communicated effectively to the people that I loved when I said that as the first thing when I got home, instead of how I truly felt. Because I was not seeking truth. I was victorious. I had a God-sized hole like you, trying to fill it with everything but God. Once I started to try to fill that hole with God, everything came to its awareness, and I seek the truth that God has given me. My God, not your God. Your God's good by me. Hopefully mine's good by you. We all win when we gain this awareness and clarity, especially about views that we don't hold. Think about the problem today with politics, religions, all the things going on to separate us around the world, especially in America. Think about it. What if we appreciated the views that we don't hold? What if we appreciated the differences in people's opinions, views, and perspectives? What if we took the time to what? Be more in a discovery mode than a domination mode? What if we were just seeking the truth and not some kind of victory over the other person, that I'm right and you're wrong? No need to be offended, separate, inferior, superior, anxious, frustrated, angry, guilty, resentful, worried. Think how much those things take away from your life. All of those feelings. What if you were taught stop, drop, and roll like I have, that every time I feel one of those feelings, God's given me one free will, and that's the only thing I need, which is to stop, remind, remember, and recollect with God, and roll back into my devotion, roll back into my divine direction, roll back into where I think I want to be, or better, still open-minded to other people's views on a better place to be, a better position to be in, a better situation. What if that was the case? Lesson 3. Once again, if anybody wants any of the exercises, guys, or these lessons, email me, david@dmeltzer.com. Choose options, opportunities, and touches of favor. Choose optionality. Everything in my life is just best for me, option for me. I choose optionality in my life all the time. My God is an option, because nobody can prove to me God. So anything that requires faith, I now go, what's the best option? Oh, something bigger than me, that knows everything, is all powerful, all knowing, loves me, protects me, promotes me more than my mom. Fucking good option. Dave Meltzer, you believe in Jesus? Jesus, bigger than me, loves me more than my mom? Absolutely. Yes, I do. Because I choose optionality. I don't choose dominance, or I choose this appreciation, the adding value to your view and mine. By understand that I am blessed by God with abundance of more than enough of everything for everyone. So I'm going to choose the best option. Just like past lives. People are like, you believe in past lives, bro? I was like, let me just tell you this. I choose optionality, and I love life. So I love life. I have the option to believe there's only one life. Not so good for someone that loves life. Or there's millions of lifetimes. Now, if somebody could prove to me one way or another, I would choose a different option. But unfortunately, nobody can choose to me that there's only one life or there's millions of lifetimes. So my faith tells me to choose optionality. And because I love life, I believe in millions of lifetimes. It's not that difficult. And nor do I expect you to choose the same option as me. That'd be like me going to McDonald's and you want the same hamburger Happy Meal that I get every time. I don't expect you to choose the same option. But I know there's more than enough of everything for everyone, just like at a fast food restaurant or some other place like Cheesecake Factory. That seems like a book. There's plenty of options. Believing there are only two choices shrinks our potential. Good or bad. Red or black. There's not just two. And you know what it breeds? Separation, inferiority, superiority, resentment, guilt, offense, worry, anger, frustration. Those seem like things that will that will create resistance between you and ease and God and omniscience. We must either cut the team of running out of things. We must cut the scarcity out of our life and ignore the experience, the tests, the partnerships, or we just accept them. Testing and going our way through life. Protecting, promoting, loving, and perfecting, knowing that the evidence presented today has nothing to do with where we're going to get to, other than somehow it's going to reveal how it's protecting, promoting, loving, and perfecting us. Our potential, our truth in which we seek, is defined by the limitations that we assume. It's defined by the meaning of the past. You're right in the difficult to understand world of the infinite. It would only then be logical to understand that our potential within the infinite would only, the boundaries or the limitations are only created by the meaning of the past that you assume, the meaning you give it, the relativity. That's why Einstein's so fascinating to me, because he studied or was an expert or pursued extreme awareness in time and relativity. Time, man-made constructive time and infinite time, man-made constructive relativity and infinite relativity. It's just meaning. And if you look in every single text, religious, political, all the spiritual, the philosophical and theories, they're actually trying to explain to you how to utilize your linear time, your human experience from the time your heart starts till it stops in this infinite manner by using relativity. By using relativity, meaning. Because you give meaning to everything you see. And that marital advice I gave earlier was just telling you to give the meaning to your marriage that you desire. That's how we monetize and materialize things, by giving it meaning. That's what manifestation is paying attention, giving intention to it of what you do, say, think, feel, and believe, which gives it meaning, which equals what? The coincidences, the coinciding of the universe, the infinite universe. And it will materialize it in the human experience, or it'll monetize it in the human experience. That's why when people price themselves, I try my best to explain to them, there's only two values in pricing something. It's perceived value or bottom line. Perceived value is your capability of articulating that value in a comfortable, confident way. It means nothing logically. Bottom line is what it's worth doing. That's easy. It's math. And it's also individual math. My car is worth selling to you for this bottom line. But I'm very comfortable and confident in asking for 3 times as much. Not 2 times as much, not 1 times as much. Not some regulated map pricing, but simply here's the perceived value, because perceived value is based off of my ability to articulate the quantitative value to exceed what you're asking for in a comfortable and confident manner. Bottom line is what I'm willing to do it for. And most people, they lose most of the abundance in every opportunity because they don't realize that. I get more people that I coach asking me all the time, what should I charge? Oh, I don't know what the fuck you should charge. What are you comfortable and confident explaining to me what you should charge? Or 2, what's it worth to you? Because once you know those things, I'll tell you what you should charge. It's up to you. Because we choose the optionality, we give meaning to everything we see. Our potential is defined by the boundaries we assume, by the meaning we give or limit ourselves with. The more options, there's a book, and I'm forgetting the name, but where they have these sessions at their company. It's just optionality. Everybody comes up with options. I do it in my company on Mondays. I call it Bad Idea Monday. Just give me your fucking idea. And so instead of having them worry about it, I'm like, just give me your bad idea. Then I don't have to go, oh, I'm worried. No, it's about giving me your bad idea. I've given you permission to give me your bad idea. Because guess what? It's an option. And every bad idea put into a different place, a different time, a different emotion turns into a good idea. So I want your bad ideas. Most of them are really good, by the way. When we have all these options, we have the option also to say what else is possible, because options are stepping stones that we may not have thought of. And all of a sudden, when we think of that stone, all of a sudden there's even a better option because somebody else presented an option. Bad or good, doesn't matter. We can score options by our own value and impact or objective. So they now become surface, non-obvious wins by looking and seeing, this option has this different impact or different value that I never thought of. But it doesn't happen unless we utilize lesson number 3, choose optionality. Going a little bit slow. All right, I'm going to speed it up. Lesson 4, if you'd like it, exercises, guides, david@dmeltzer.com. Trust wisdom. So now we're talking about wisdom and faith, shortening the distance of resistance in order to own the accountability of the lessons learned. Accountability just means this is what I've learned from it. So what did I do to be responsible? What did I do to attract it? What did I do to participate in the perception? And what am I supposed to learn from it? Knowledge is facts. Wisdom is what we've learned. right? We can attain knowledge. All of us have studied for a test, and within seconds after taking the test, we have no wisdom of Spanish or math or calculus or whatever else we were doing. We had plenty of knowledge. We spooted all over the paper for the test. We might have even gotten the A, but no wisdom. It's when we learn the lesson, we take accountability. What did we learn from that test? That we can trust in our wisdom, because it's wisdom and faith that shorten the distance of resistance. Blind obedience outsources our outcomes. Under the context of what you pay attention to and give intention to equals the coinciding of the universe, the coincidences that we want that monetize and materialize what we want. Blind obedience, which scares me today with social media, politics, religion, things that people are blindly obedient to, especially when facts can be manipulated and social siloed. Just know this. I don't care the quality or quantity of that blind obedience. Just know that you're outsourcing your outcomes. You're a drifter. Credibility does not equal certainty. I'm very credible in certain areas, but I'm completely uncertain, which is why my favorite quote is, you're either humble or you're about to be. It's why I categorize all human beings in two ways. You're either ignorant or ignorant. You're either humble and ignorant, where you admit to people, hey, I have a lot of wisdom in this area, but I don't know what I don't know, because time, circumstances, and emotion changes immediately after I give you my wisdom. Or there's ignorant arrogance of the people who attack us or the people who love us the most. Ignorant arrogance of people that attack us is obvious. The scarier one is the ignorant arrogance of the people that love us the most, that give us advice or pretend like they know what they don't know because they're afraid for us, more afraid for us than they are for themselves. So they'll tell you, you got to go to college. You need to be a doctor, a lawyer, or a failure. These are people who love you so much. I call them parents, relatives, right? My mom, most ignorant, arrogant woman in the world, because she loved me so much. Just shitty advice again and again to protect me, limit me. And I love her for it. And I appreciated all the shitty advice that she gave me, including the internet was a fad. We love to copy celebrity playbook that doesn't fit our own stage, audience, or budget. I'm going to repeat that. Please pass this on to our kids. We love to copy the celebrity playbook that doesn't fit where we are today, our stage, our audience, our budget. I have coaching clients, they want to step on the Aspire stage. I've been speaking for so many years. Like, you can't do this shit if it's your first time. I invested over $1 million into my speaking career, 100 dates with a crew filming me. Stages I was not paid for, sometimes 2 people there. You want a big ego shot? Go fly up to the University of Washington, University of Seattle for their big thing, have them screw up the dates and the thing, and it's their midterms and it's raining. And the only 2 people are there. One is your friend, who's the first time that gets to hear you speak, who invented Pictionary. He's super excited to see you. And then somebody on the staff that actually had the right information. 2 people. Don't lie to yourself. Admit to yourself, this is not my stage yet. This is not my audience yet. And it's not within my budget yet. Yet, it will be. Find someone in the situation that you want to be and ask them for help. It'll be there faster. But it's important that our mentors guide us and that we still make those decisions based on where we are, where we want to be. Not where they want to be or social media wants us to be. Not what's missing or don't have. And then we own the results ourselves. We trust our wisdom and we are accountable for it. What did we learn from it? Just different outcomes. Quick validation. Install a validation loop of tiny test data adjustment. I call it AAA. Alignment, adjustment, alignment, action, prepare for adjustment. If you like the AAA strategy guide, happy to send that to you. David@dmeltzer.com. And finally, create a checklist of trust but verify. Most of the bad decisions in my life because I didn't verify. I just trusted. Right? Trusted it. All right. 5th lesson. Available David@dmeltzer.com. Adapt, don't attack. Past investment isn't proof of future value. Attachment taxes our momentum. It creates resistance. Fear of loss blocks our upside. I see so many people keep funding an underperforming product because they've already spent so much. Most businesses that I advise for, big businesses, 80% of their business would bankrupt them. And they're just not honest. They haven't admitted it. What do I mean by that? 80% of the business, when I analyze it, they're either losing money or breaking even. And then they're carrying it with 20% of the business that's extremely profitable. So I tell them all the time, why don't you fire all of the clients that you're losing money with and give them to your competitors? It'll be a duplicative positive for you. And then focus in on the customers that are breaking even for you and create profit from those. You'll be exponentially more valuable. We stay loyal to the mission, not to the mistakes. I'm loyal to my behavior, not to my mistakes. My mistakes are there to teach me, to promote me, to protect me. But I'm not attached to those mistakes at all. I'm not punishing myself, nor do I feel punished by them. If you have to divorce them, then write a divorce letter for them, but get them out of your fucking life. Let them fall away, fire them. Do it physically. Have an interview with the mistake and just fire it. Get rid of it. Say, thank you very much. Here's what I've learned. You're gone. I'm not doing you again. I don't feel guilty, resentful, don't care. I've learned my lesson. Thank you very much. I'm moving on. Set forward end metrics of this bottom line, right? Timing and risk tolerance. So I call them kill metrics in advance. I know my timing and risk tolerance in advance. I never feel resentful and guilty. I just know here's my timing and risk tolerance. I'm willing to invest $1 million in a year into my speaking career. If I would have got to the end of the year and not felt as if I got as far as I wanted to be, or I don't see, I would have had a kill metric. What ends, when, and why? That's what I asked me. What's going to end, when, and why beforehand? Timing and risk tolerance. You'll never feel resentful or guilty. Will you be disappointed? Absolutely. I use the lottery ticket as an example, right? Everybody, it's over $1 billion right now. They're paying their $2. They know there's a 1 in a billion chance to make the $1 billion, or maybe now it's 1 in 2 billion chance to make $1 billion. And they know Saturday at 8 o'clock, they're going to know if they won. And so when Saturday at 8 o'clock comes for all of us that gives our $2 and we don't win, we're disappointed, and that's okay. But I have a kill metric. I'm not disappointed. I'm disappointed. I'm not resentful and guilty. So I'm going to go ahead and give it another shot next week. I'm not going to quit. Understand your timing and risk tolerance. Last lesson. Email me if you like this, david@dmeltzer.com. Install decision hygiene. Install decision hygiene. What's loud or recent feels true, and our unseen biases steer decisions. Growth isn't informational, it's installation. They've been installed in us. It's like going to Thanksgiving. Why does my brother, sister, mom, dad, grandparent, why do they trigger me so much? Well, because they installed your trigger. They installed them. Of course they're going to trigger you. Just because it's loud, just because it's recent, doesn't mean it's important. It may just create more urgency in your life. But you need to evaluate the evidence that is contrary to where you want to be, evidence that's loud, evidence that's non-existent. It's just informational. But growth is not informational. Growth is what is installed in us in our divine devotion, our divine direction. One angry tweet makes us pause a profitable campaign because recency shouts louder than reality. How many times have you taken one loud remark and changed your devotion and direction? Stupid. Unlearning is actually what we do. I say this as a middle-aged white man. Right? I've been raised for 57 years. Some of the shit I say is not acceptable today, with good intention, by the way. I don't tell people I'm sorry. I literally just say, thank you for your patience. I need to unlearn this. I had no idea. I just had no idea that that's what that meant. Then it goes the other way too. Like I remember the vice president of YouTube that I interviewed. And in the thing, it's like she is queer. And in my mind, you were not supposed to say queer. I remember when my kids were little, I'm like, let's play Smear the Queer. And they're all fucking offended. Oh, Dad, you said queer, you know? Like, and now this lady's like, wants to be known as queer. And I'm like, hey, how do I know? Because I want to learn, because I have some things to unlearn. And can I call people queer or not queer or whatever? So like, why don't you ask them? Because it seems like one of those words that people take a difference to. So instead, if it's questionable, just ask, how would you like me to identify you? What's the appropriate words that make you feel comfortable? Because that's my intention, not to separate us at all, but to appreciate our differences. But I'm the queerest of anyone, so under my definition of it. But unlearning plus replacing creates durable change, appreciation. It helps systems beat willpower. I'm going to repeat that. Helps systems beat willpower. Big difference. I will out willpower most people on earth, but it's the systems that have made me successful. I've always out willpower. That's how I was a below average college football player with this talent, because I use willpower to be a below average college football player. But it wasn't until the systems that were in place that I could create exponential effort with my willpower. Use our daily decision hygiene. You can create a checklist. Are we reacting emotionally? Are we protecting our ego? What facts are we ignoring? Have we considered real alternatives? What biases might be influencing this? And evaluate from there. Install decision hygiene. And just to finish up, we're not here to outsource our future. We're insourcing our future. You can't find outside of you what you can't see inside of you. We're here to co-create, command. God commands us. He doesn't demand us. The word command means work with. We are here to work with, co-create our future. The moment we stop obeying authority and start integrating it through discipline, devotional testing, we can reclaim our own power. Our own whole will be filled with God. We listen deeply, we evaluate objectively, and we decide responsibly. Our next right move isn't the expert's words. It's the action we can validate in the market today. Let's codify our trust but verify checklist, run a tiny experiments, gather data, and iterate on that. When we own the choice and the consequence, we own the compounding of our outcomes in the divine direction of where we want to be or better. If anybody would like this exercise guide, available, Napoleon Hill Institute weekly training. You can't fix what you won't admit. I appreciate you allowing me to go a little bit over. Thank you so much. We'll see you in New York on Saturday, 8:30 in the morning at the Westin at Grand Central State meetup. If you're in Ecuador, email me, do a meetup there. Then on to Dubai, Zanzibar, Tanzania, Dubai, and Florida in the next 15 days. 200 cities a year. Email me, david@dmeltzer.com. If you want to be informed and invited, join our text community, 949-298-2905. If you don't want to be informed, do not want to be invited, do not text me at 949-298-2905. Remember, most importantly, be more interested than interesting. Be kind to your future self and do good deeds. Hit it, Gigi.
They discovered it, they read it, and they applied it. It's the golden thread that connects the titans of the self-development industry, the source that spawned millions of millionaires, the original blueprint to success.
Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Think and Grow Rich.
Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. It's a classic. A classic.
And I love Think and Grow Rich. I love it. It's right here. I mean, it's one of my favorite books of all time.
Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
This material is what changed my life. This is the material I study every day. From being an immigrant woman, coming from poverty, and really coming to America and literally achieving the American dream. I can't even tell you how grateful I am for this man, for what he did for me and my family.
Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve.
People don't realize is that when we let our ego get in our way, ego is the loss, the fear of loss. So need to be right, the need to be offended, the need to be hurt, fearful. When that trajectory changes, what happens is you continually go the wrong way. So my job as a coach is to say, let's get into the enjoyment of the direct pursuit of my potential. Right? And so when the light went on, it was not about the potential of making money and being an entrepreneur, which is one of my specialties. And I said to him, look, this is an opportunity now to show how great you really are. We can't let the outside voices, right, determine our success. The happiness that we have comes within. Why are you going to give that control to somebody else?
Thoughts become things. And I always wonder, why did no one teach us this? Why did we not learn this in school? Why did we not learn this from our families? If you make your study a priority, your life will change.
And I came up with 4 really valuable things that I took stock in. And the first one was gratitude. Simple gratitude. Although I grew up with nothing, I was always grateful. Throughout the whole process of consistently, persistently pursuing my potential, I was grateful. It made my past better, my present brighter, and my future even brighter than that. In fact, I tell people all the time, if you want to change your life, change your employee's life, your family life, it's very simple. 2 words, say thank you.